Hi everyone! Hi and welcome to this webinar on helping schools cope with long breaks using Google for Education tools. I'm Camille and I will be facilitating today's live stream. I hope everyone's okay there. This live streaming is brought to you by Q Software Research, a Google for Education partner since 2017, and a Google Cloud partner specializing on education since 2018. This webinar is also in collaboration with Acer, Empowering People. By the way, we have a sign-up form in case you're interested in registering for Google for Education. I'm flashing the link right here. It's tinyurl.com/webinar sign-up form. And another one is a feedback form, which I will be flashing also. It's this one, tinyurl.com/QSR webinar feedback for any feedback right after this webinar. Of course, these two links are available at the description box below. Just please check it out there and we'll be checking your answers later on. Actually, QSR came up with this idea of a webinar because a lot of classes and work have been suspended. I think we're all very much aware of that because of the COVID-19. And we wanted to help both teachers and students, of course, to be more productive in light of all of these issues. Of course, I would not be alone today. To help me discuss more about Google for Education, its objectives, benefits, and a few more demos on its tools, we've invited Mr. Adrian Cruz. Adrian is an EdTech coach. He is also a Google certified educator. He is a certified innovator, a community leader of the GEG South Manila. Adrian considers himself as a 21st century educator with a vision in technology for education. He is now venturing in his startup company that advocates in educational technology and professional development to increase awareness and productivity called LukeBeyondTheClassroom. Now I'm going to pull in Adrian. Hi, Adrian.
Hi.
Hi, Adrian.
Hi, Camille. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. We
Okay, can you hear me?
wanted
Can you clearly?
here. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'll be showing up my slides.
Yep.
Is it showing, Camille?
Yes, I have it on the screen.
Okay, thank you very much. Hi, I'm Adrian Cruz. I'm an EdTech coach and a Google certified innovator, and I will be discussing what Google for Education is all about and how we can apply distance learning now that there is a temporary closure for schools here in the Philippines and in other countries. Now, what is Google for Education? Well, basically, these are apps of solutions built for teachers and students. Now, Google for Education comprises of the following: G Suite for Education. You have your Google Classroom as the main application for education, and the Chromebooks for the devices. But for today's webinar, I'll be specifically talking about G Suite for Education and Google Classroom. Now, are you familiar with these four words in your screen? You have your communication, critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity. Well, basically, once you use all the applications of Google, which we call G Suite, we'll be able to improve the students' communication skills, critical thinking, collaboration, and their creativity. Also, with G Suite, you'll be able to help them personalize their learnings. You'll be also have them being collaborative and diverse. Number three, you'll also be able to come up with a project-based material for them, and you'll be able to have or come up with an authentic and experiential learning for them. Now, I have here with me all the apps of G Suite for education. First, you have your Gmail. Well, basically, we all know we all have our Google accounts or dot or our G or our your name at gmail.com. Normally, if we apply or we get our Google accounts personally, we just get a 15 gig storage from our Google Drive. But if you apply as a Google for Education school, which are free by the way, you'll be able to receive as many as 10,000 accounts, meaning you'll be able to get as many as 10,000 accounts for all the teachers, students, and staff, and for an unlimited storage. With the other Google for Education tools, you have your sites. This is one way to teach your students how to showcase their work by coming up with their digital portfolios. In this side, you have your Google Docs, sheets, forms, and slides. These are your collaborative tools that you can use to create documents, to create spreadsheets, to create your own presentations. And it's called Google Forms. If you want to have an online surveys, quizzes, to gather data, this is the perfect tool for you as a teacher. Next, you have your Google Calendar. So basically, when we when we have our default calendar app in our cell phones, we just sometimes look at it, right? And then that's it. But with G Suite's calendar, what you can do is to schedule meetings, schedule parent meetings, staff meetings, teacher meetings. And then here you also have a vault. So these are more on for IT administrators. So if they want to retrieve their files, their deleted files, they can just go to the vault. The teacher can just go to the IT administrator and ask them for their files to be retrieved. Next, Hangouts. Hangouts is a messenger video voice app that we can use to connect with our students. Later on, I'll be talking about the different updates of Hangouts and how we can apply this app to distance learning strategies that we're going to do. And lastly, we have Google Classroom. This is the main app of G Suite for Education. It's a content management system or CMS where we can put our students in a portal like Facebook like application where we can assign assignments, organize materials for them, share presentations, can also come up with the grading assignments and grading workbooks. So for today, we'll be heavily discussing about Hangouts and Google Classroom. We first sign in our Google account. It's either you're at gmail.com or you're at .edu.ph. So once you go to your Gmail, if you're a beginner, you'll have to go to the apps icon on the upper right. So this is the apps icon. Others would call it waffle. So once you click this, you'd be able to go to the different apps available. Because sometimes what happens is that others don't really know how to look for how do we go to docs, how do we go to slides, or what's Google Drive. So sometimes what we just know is just the Google, or what we just know is just Gmail. But right now I'm teaching you, this is the Google Apps icon to go or access through the different apps available. But the easiest way to go through that is to remember, but it's just by remembering the keyword blank.google.com. Meaning, if you want to go to docs, you just simply type in docs.google.com in your search box on top. Or if you want to go to Drive, it's just drive.google.com. Or if it's Hangouts, hangouts.google.com. By the way, the search box on top, where we type in all our links, the websites, the name specifically for Chrome of that search box is called an omnibox. Okay? So moving to our next topic, Hangouts. So again, Hangouts Meet is a free access to the advanced Hangouts Meet video conferencing. So they're already upgrading the features of Hangouts Meet because of the situation of the coronavirus here. So what they're doing is they're going to upgrade the features. So one would be larger meetings for up to 250 participants per call. They're also having a live streaming feature for up to 100,000 viewers with a domain. So meaning if you have a school domain, the name of the school.edu.ph, meaning you can have as many audience as 100,000. You'd be able to have the ability to record also your meetings and save them to your Google Drive. So just this month, they're already starting to roll out these features per region. So let's wait until we get all these features in the coming days. By the way, for the others who just came in, you can sign up in our tinyurl.com/webinar sign up form. And for our feedback form, we have tinyurl.com/QSR webinar feedback. Or you can just look at our link in the details provided in our YouTube live. Okay, we'll now move to Google Classroom. Again, Google Classroom is a content management system application of G Suite or Google, wherein we can put all our students in a portal. So it's like having an extended online classroom for them, perfect for integrating or applying distance learning strategy for our students, especially now that the schools are um, on break, a long break. So this is a perfect tool that you can use as an alternative. Now, Google Classroom mission control for students and teachers. I'll be first run down all the features, and then on the second part would be more of a interactive demo. First, for your Google Classroom, it's easy setup. Teachers can set up a class, invite students and co-teachers. So meaning you can have more than one teacher in your class. If there's maybe two, if you're two or three teachers handling the same subject, they can coexist, or maybe your principal or maybe your coordinators can also be there to monitor. Um, there's also what you call class stream. It's it's a Facebook like feature where you can post all your inputs, your insights, photos. It's like a wall post. So you can keep your students updated to the latest announcements or to give additional workload tasks or even come up with interactive Q&A for them while they're at home. By the way, for the Google Classroom, I just want to I just want to clarify, Google Classroom is not a total replacement for a live lecture, but this is what we use when we're already at home, when we already leave our physical classrooms. Next, it also saves time and paper. So teachers can create classes, distribute assignments, communicate, and stay organized all in one place. So whatever you post, whatever you put, PDF files, photos, docs, documents, spreadsheets, whatever you put there, it also goes to your Google Drive. So it becomes, once you create a Google Classroom, it also creates a folder that says Classroom in your Google Drive. So let's say you create assignment number one in your Google Classroom, it automatically creates another folder in your Google Drive that says assignment number one. So all the submissions of the students goes there to that shared folder. Better organization. So students can see assignments on to-do page, in the class stream, or on the class calendar. All class materials are automatically filed into Google Drive folders. So this one, you can also download the application. So whatever posts that they do, whatever assignments you post, everybody will be notified. There's also enhanced communication and feedback. So here, teachers can create assignments, send announcements, and instantly start class discussion. Students can also share resources with each other and interact in the class stream or by email. Teachers can also quickly see who has or hasn't completed the work. So if you have 15 students, you'll see how many students are already passing. Um, let's say three submitted, and then 12 um, pending. So you'll be able to monitor well who has already submitted. Next, it's affordable and secure. So since Classroom is free, as long as you have a Gmail account or a .edu account, you'll be able to use all the G Suite apps, including the Classroom. So the Classroom contains no ads, never uses your content or student data for advertising purposes, and then works with apps you use. So when you attend our trainings or our full end user trainings, we really train teachers how to use their docs, slides, sheets, calendar, all collaborative apps, and all communication apps. Because once you use a Google Classroom, you are supposed, or you'll be able to maximize Classroom app when you know how to use the others or the other G Suite apps. Now, I'll be giving you a demo of the Google Classroom. So once you go, if you want to go to Classroom, simply type in classroom.google.com. Again, classroom.google.com. So once you type that, you'd be able to see this. So these are the different classrooms I've already created in the past. So I'll just give you a quick trivia. So Google Classroom was created in 2013. I started using it when I was teaching in grade 9. Okay, so to create your Google Classroom, look for the plus button on the upper right, and then it says here create or join a class. By the way, if you've just opened your classroom app, the first thing that you're going to see is either you'll choose are you a teacher or are you a student. Kindly click teacher. What's the difference? If you've clicked teacher, you'd be able to create and join classes. But if you click students, you can only join class but not create your own classrooms. Okay. So once you click the plus button, kindly click create class. So in here, you will see the class name. You can put in the name of your, let's say, subject. Okay, this is the required part. The others are just optional. So if you have, let's say, 2 sections handling, you can put the name of the section, subject, or even the room there. So once you're done, click create. Okay, since the classroom is already intuitive, once you put the title, it comes up with a default um, cover or like a profile cover. So if you're not satisfied with how it looks like, you can just go to select theme or upload photo. So if you have stock photos, you can use that. Maybe picture of your students or maybe related to your subject. And then here, this is the stream part. So it says here on top, stream. So these are the posts. This is where you can post your announcements, your assignments here. And then what's also nice about this application is that you can customize, meaning you can just give announcements to specific students or for all. Here you can attach your materials. It's either through Google Drive, link resource materials from other websites, files, or even from YouTube. Next, for your students, how do we invite or how do we get in our students to this classroom? We have 2 ways. One would be through class code. The class code is in this part. So if you're in your classroom, you can just simply tell them view, click, copy the class code and type it in the Google Classroom. The other one is by personally inviting them to people. So here we can personally or manually invite our students. We just have to type in all their email addresses. You can also invite your teachers here. Again, your teachers or maybe your coordinator or your principal just to monitor you. By the way, if you're using at gmail.com to create a Google Classroom. Only users, students, or participants with generic at gmail.com accounts can access your classroom. So for example, I'm using, let's say, Manila Science National High School.edu.ph. Only that domain name can access or can join my classroom. So domain to domain or Gmail to Gmail accounts only. Next, let's go with classwork. So with classwork, what you can do is to create assignment, quiz assignment, post questions if you want it to be more interactive, post material for your, let's say, reading materials or laboratory activities forms, or reuse post. You can also, if you want to be more organized, you can click the topic and let's say lesson one, lesson two. It depends on how you organize your materials. And then lastly here, grades. So meaning once you create an assignment, um, you will also have an automatic grade book that you can see, that you can download also in a CSV format. So it means that whatever records you create in Google Classroom, it can be translated to a spreadsheet and to be printed or to be submitted to your superiors. So it's very easy, very user-friendly application for your students. What I just you just have to remember that in applying Google Classroom with your students, set some guidelines, set rules when to view your Google Classroom, when to check, so that everybody's synchronized. Everybody will be able to see on time what you post, what you ask them to do, and there. So, and also your expectation, you'll not be disappointed. This is one way to be able to integrate distance learning strategy with your students. Camille?
Hi, Adrian. Thank you. I actually learned so much in such a short time. But I just want to ask everyone if they have questions. They can just send them in so we can flash them, and
Okay.
we'll give you a gift. We'll give you a gift, and we'll send it to you to your address, since we don't want to do meetups because of all of this COVID thing. But since they don't want to ask questions, I would ask you something. I mean, this is just what came right out of my head when you were talking about all of these Google Classroom, etc. I know you are a teacher, right, Adrian?
Mhm.
And I know you also use G Suite in your classes. I just want to know if you've seen improvements in your students' performance. And can you give me at least an example of what happened or
Well,
how it.
well, when I first Google Classroom, it was just an experiment in the beginning. That was in August of 2013, second
Mhm.
quarter of the school year. So I just wanted to see if it will be effective for the students, because sometimes other teachers would use social media to collaborate, to reach out to their students. Well, I always see it as being resourceful, but I saw Google Classroom as a perfect tool, or like a perfect um, classroom tool to reach out to their students, even if it's online. So when I used it, I tried it out, set some guidelines, set rules every, let's say, a specific day to check it out. So when we did that, for it was supposed to be for one quarter only, but then after the whole 2 3 months, they got used to checking the classroom, the notifications, and sometimes they even tell me, "Sir, you haven't posted our presentation. We're waiting for it." So you see the enthusiasm of your students, their interest, because we all know they're Gen Zs, so
Yes.
they're more inclined to technology. And then
And
the
this is
other
their
one,
language. I think this is their language already. That's
yes,
why
yes.
they like checking the notifications more than writing the assignment down on
Even
the
for their
whiteboard, right?
Yes, even for their phones, they can
Yes.
easily check the app, their assignments in their smartphones. And then the other one, I've also compared. Um, since I started that second quarter, I've compared it with their first quarter grades. It has increased, and even for their active participations, because sometimes we have students in a regular classroom setup, we have students who are really quiet, not, they seem to look not interested. But when you put them in a different medium, such as Google Classroom, you see that they're more interested. You get to know them better. Doon pala sila mas
Mm-mm.
interested, or through this way, you get to know them more. So,
We know not everyone resides in class, right?
yeah, not everybody resides,
Marami
but sometimes
tayong
if you,
students na very shy.
mhm. So yon. So once you put them in a different medium like this, minsan sila yung, uy, marami pala siyang inputs.
Mm-mm.
Yon. And then, what else? For Google Classroom, yun, with their grades, I've compared it with the first quarter, second
Mm-hmm.
quarter, and then hanggang sa when it became effective, it was just a pilot at first. And then for the following year, it was already implemented for all teachers, all subjects, and even for clubs and
I think
organization.
I think we have one very interesting question that I would want to flash, Adrian. Is that okay with you? Okay, this is
Sure.
from Miss Lee Ramos. Um, she mentioned, and she's asking if this would work with kids in preschool.
Okay. So ideally, well, most of the schools here are already implementing G Suite. Sometimes school starts from grade 4 onwards. Other schools would start grade 1 onwards. For preschools, yes, you can still apply it, but with the full coordination of the parents. I mean, we have to make sure that we tie in the parents so that they see what happens inside the Google Classroom. If they're not sure yet how to use it, we can, we can train you on how to use it. We can slowly maybe just pilot it first, and then definitely from there we can roll it out. But definitely it can still be applied for preschool, pero mas ano siya, mas limited, mas toned down lang yung use. Because definitely may assistance siya talaga ng parents or guardians.
Definitely. Okay, another question from Miss Din Mendoza asking if our files will be uploaded. Sorry, will all the files be uploaded in the classroom? Will all the files uploaded in the classroom be available offline? That's her question.
Okay. So, for the offline mode, so madaming nagsasabi na, ayaw namin gumamit ng Google kasi kailangan online kami parate. But with G Suite, there is an offline mode. So in your Google Drive, balikan natin si drive.google.com. In the upper right sa settings niya, meron doon for the settings, sync for offline mode. offline or offline. So ibig sabihin, if your laptop wala ng internet connection at na-sync mo siya, you can continue working on your files. But the thing is, if you sync the offline mode, let's say you have 5 gig consumption sa drive mo, magkakaroon ka rin ng 5 gig downloaded files. So that's just backup. But there is an offline mode.
Okay, I think we have another question. Thank you, Miss Eileen, by the way, for answering some of the questions on the comment box in YouTube. Thank you so much. Another question is that, is it applicable for nonprofit organizations who have the goal in promoting free education with regards to entrepreneurial mindset for the out-of-school youth using their skills?
Yes, non-profit organization can apply. Non-profit organization can apply for G Suite for non-profit. So meron din siyang proper category.
Okay.
But definitely will help you how to come up with a non-profit organization account.
Yes. I think for more information, if you're really very much interested with this, even inquiries, again, you can sign up on the sign up form that I flashed earlier on, which I will be flashing again. It's tinyurl.com/webinars sign up form. If you're interested with learning more about the services that USR offers, we would gladly help you. We can contact you directly so that if you want an in-depth explanation on how we get to do it, how we can process it, and many other things, you can go to the sign up form, sign up there, or you can, of course, email us at education@usr.com.ph for your inquiries so we can have this email thread. I'm sure we will be able to answer your questions or whatever inquiries in depth online, so that at least you get to be more comfortable of the other services that we get to offer. Any more questions?
Meron pa ba? This is just a teaser, kumbaga a snippet lang of what Google for Education is. But if you're, interested, we're very much willing to go to your school and help you out, assist, and how to transform your school, or let's say, to help you transition from traditional to digital integration.
Yes. We are very much interested in helping all schools to be Google for Education registered schools, because again, what we're doing now is already precautionary, and we want to help everyone to at least have this backup type of thing in case any other issues happen or whatnot. And we're very glad to be coordinating with Google for Education registered schools already. They're already asking for assistance as to how they can better use the classroom and other Google for Education applications. Okay, so
I think there's another question.
there is another question. Let me check. Um, the feedback form. I'll be fixing the link to that, and I will be putting it right back on the. I'll be putting it right back on the description box, so that you can add your responses to the feedback form after the webinar. Okay, any more? We can send a deck. Yes. Mr. Reynard asked if we could send them the deck, so
Hi, Sir
that
Reynard.
yeah. Do you have a deck
Yeah.
that we can represent to the schools or teachers that were interested to use this platform? Yes, we can send you an introductory deck. on all of these. And of course, if you want to explore on your own, we're not
Yes,
going to stop you from doing that.
we can give out white paper on what Google for Education and the other details, other programs, so that that
Yes.
could also be presented to your principals and higher ups. And then from there, if you want to back up, just call us. We'll go there.
Yes. Will definitely be very much interested in helping you and your school. I think I was not able to properly introduce Miss Eileen Apollo, who's been helping us with answering all of these questions via YouTube.
Hi,
Miss
Miss Eileen.
Eileen is a senior program manager of Google for Education for the Asia Pacific. Thank you so much, Miss Eileen. Thank you for helping us with this webinar. Of course, I would also like to thank Adrian for answering our invitation, even if it's short notice. Thanks so much, Adrian.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Okay, so I hope everyone would also subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can just check out Q Software Research, Q Software Research Official on YouTube, and on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Q Software Research. We'll see you guys in the next webinar. Thank you so much for
Mm-hmm.
joining us. For all the questions, I'll be trying to answer
We'll
them
just answer
manually
it. Yeah.
offline. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, well, not in the webinar, not live, but I'll be trying to answer them. And just please send us a feedback form. I'll be updating the link. I'll be helping you with all of these things. I'll see you guys on the next webinar. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.